Hey everybody, how's it going? You know what time it is. It's the same time every week. That's right. It's time for Syntax Live. I hope everybody is doing well. I need to adjust my camera here just a little bit. It's a little cranked over to the side. But I hope everybody's doing good. I do have to start off with this though. We have thunderstorms that are going to be coming in. Same thing as before. If the stream drops because of power going out, the stream just ends that for this week, guys. I can't control the weather. If I could, I'd be an X-Men. Although maybe I'm too pale to do that. Fuck it. All right. First things first, I want to send out a huge thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. I'm actually behind when it comes to the thank yous. So if you didn't get yours this week, don't worry. I got them written down. They're right there. And I was working on last week, so I'm going to have to start condensing a little more. So if you end up sending a large donation and you don't get one shout out for yourself, I do apologize for that. But hey, the channel is growing. It's taking a while, but it is growing. And I have you guys to thank for that. Thank you again so much. So let's get into it. I don't have too much in the way of notes. It fills up most of the page. But most of this comes from you guys, as you know. But before we get started, everybody knows, pop a top, and let's get after it. Speaking of which, I got the Let's Get After It from somebody I've been watching. Barry Stepp, he has a really good channel. However, it's not one you can just sit and listen to, folks. You actually have to sit and watch. It's very interesting, and I'm getting a few of my inspirations from him. So, in any case. First things first. When it came to the... Oh, shit. Hold on. I gotta stop even before we get started here because we got a $2 super sticker from the sir. Yes, I know, sir. I have not sent you yours stuff from last week. But again, you're on deck. We had a whole bunch last week, sent big numbers. So I was trying to get you your single shout out that week, but it just didn't work out that way, unfortunately. So, but thank you very much for your throw in. I appreciate that very much. Appreciate all you. First things first, with the vibration and frequency technology that I was talking about on one of the channels, where the humans, the power of what? The words have power. Yes, that frequency and vibration, that's actually very well known. The kicker is if you try to patent anything through the U.S. government, and I'm pretty sure it's the same over in Europe, you are SOL and JWF. Shit out of luck and jolly well fucked, because they don't want that technology out. Why? Because it works. It works not only for levitation, but it also fixes up a lot of the stuff inside. You don't believe me? It's not a difficult search to find. Somebody brought up in the comment section about using magnetics and gravimetrics to actually work on the body. They do, but not in the same fashion. Do magnetics work? Certain ones do. Just like vibration has to have a certain vibration, certain frequency, and then it works wonders. I mean, just holy fucking shit. I remember as a kid, they were showing how they were using sonic vibration to break up kidney stones. And then once it's broken up, you pass it without much discomfort at all. I mean, you still passed it, but you're not screaming like a little girl. Oh, hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. We got an Erica who is a shining gem. Let me write you down here. And she sent a $5 super sticker to me. And again, appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Let's see. But yes, I use that in the hard science fiction. Why? Because it works, folks. It worked. And I honestly think that when that is finally being able to be used as a broad spectrum, whatever, to help in the medical field, I think our health is going to skyrocket. Yeah, words have power. That's what it was. I forgot. I had something in my notes here, and I don't remember what the hell. I put the notes, I screwed up, so I don't know what that was. Okay. On to the next one, which was So warm. Humans are so warm. This one with the subtitle, Hot for Teacher. Apparently, you guys got the biggest kick out of that, and I appreciate that. It was meant to be kind of a tongue-in-cheek situation. Somebody mentioned how you don't touch the tentacles or tendrils on a alien's head. That's two different things, actually. Tendrils usually are either lay flat, like the tail heads in Star Wars. Those are tendrils. Tentacles can actually move. Now, can tendrils, if they do move, they are usually they have a very specific purpose. So that's the difference between the two. That's why I kind of tossed in between the two during that. And I tried to put it right where the tendrils that they grabbed actually came out of the teacher's side. The tentacles on her head was what was going crazy when she was getting a little warm from by the way, it wasn't just heat, it's biofeedback. Somebody brought up the fact that you don't touch the tentacles on a alien's head. You're right, you don't. That would just be common freaking sense. Sorry, I got something in my eye. And yeah, you are 100% on that. So, but apparently, grabbing her face and going, guys, I think she's about to, and all of a sudden she just squeals so loud that I believe it was Allie or something her name was. I'm like, I gotta check my notes. She's like, son of a bitch. She's like gonna blow her eardrums out. Yeah, that was meant to be a joke. And yeah, I know you guys know this. I gotta talk around it. I can't just say exactly what's going on. Why? Because the stinking freaking algorithm. It's just, it drives me nuts. Somebody brought up the purring student. They want more cat girl, I guess. Gee, I wonder who might like that so much, even though he wasn't the one who put it in. Yeah, I see you in the comments right there, and we'll get there. Okay, on to the next one. Just out of curiosity, did everybody get caught in the twist on "to hell with you"? I wanted to write in the title HFY. That would have gave away everything. So I hope the twist actually came out of nowhere for you, because that was kind of the point. And everyone is right. Don't mess with the cults, and for the love of God, don't try summoning. If you don't know what you're doing, it's a really, really bad idea. Hell, it's a bad idea anyway. It's like literally walking in a nuclear reactor going, ooh, buttons. I love buttons. Beep, boop, 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 tiles. I'm going to spin those too. Yeah. Yeah, not a smart idea. You might get an energy blast that you want, but a little too much. As far as that story goes, yes, there will be a part 2. That one had a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of views, a bunch of positive feedback. So yes, there will be a part 2. Speaking of which, there is one story going to be dropping tonight at midnight, and that's going to be part 2. And it's right here. Did I actually get it? Yep. It's part 2 to Damn Humans. Yep. That one, people have been bugging me for a part 2 on that. It was meant to be one, and unfortunately, it was supposed to be made yesterday. Unfortunately, I was so freaking tired because I had to help somebody out. I honestly couldn't move. I went to get up, and I felt like a grown-up because I groaned every time I went up. It was terrible. Somebody brought in something very interesting in the comment section. Any magic is basically, or any high enough magic is indistinguishable from science. Yes, I know that's supposed to be the other way around, but it works both ways. If you don't understand it via science, then you have to understand it through spirituality. And you are correct. You are absolutely correct. All right, on to the files. And just so you guys know, the inspiration for the title was on the movie Red. I got to check the files. Yeah, that movie's just funny. I almost got in trouble. I sort of got half flagged for the title when it said Bitch and Heat, because that's the code name. Thankfully, didn't actually get a strike, or else I would have been in trouble. For that one in particular, yes, I did have to talk around. I hope that didn't bother anybody. But the only thing I really got in the comment section on that is they liked it and it was funny. So, but the whole idea, yes, I know I do a lot of succubus stuff, but the reason why the character did the succubus is because the nephew is a teenager. And let's face it, if you're a Gen X, what did we have from Milton Bradley? We had a fucking Ouija board. Like, you really want a kid doing a seance. That's just crazy. And now they got the internet, so they think they actually know what they're doing. We didn't know back then. You guys don't know now. All right. I'm pretty sure this one got a lot of views because the title, shut up and get behind me, sir. Anybody who's been in the service has said that at least once. I've said that at least twice. And yeah, neither time were they happy about that. But whatever. Apparently the title, like I said, got everybody. And believe it or not, that last part, the word was, it wasn't actually the name. The guy was joking because everybody was so happy about what they were seeing. He's like, welcome. Yeah, like he's high. Oh, it's like heaven, man. So anyway, I didn't want to say the name just in case anybody's been reading and they are listening and they hadn't watched it yet. I'm trying not to do spoilers, folks, but I'm trying to dodge around it. But this is what I got to talk about, what you guys send in the comments. And believe it or not, it only took us about 10 minutes and we blew through that. So I'm going to run up to the comment section. Beforehand, I will say this. Thank you, everybody, for not watching the AI channels. I just looked at a couple of them, just the top, and some of these videos have been up for several days, and their view count is in the double digits. And thank you. Okay. I've always said AI is going to put all of us out of work eventually. Doing what I do, eventually AI is going to come and it's going to be good enough. I mean, kind of like how they got, I'm sure you've all seen the Unreal Engine now. I think it's Unreal 5. Holy crap, is that shit photorealistic. I mean, you can still tell just a little bit if you're looking, but what in the ever-loving snot rocket fucks is going on with that? Holy shit. It is unbelievably good. It's like you're actually in the movie. And I'm just amazed. So if I was wearing a hat, I'd hats off to the folks who designed that because they know what the hell they're doing. Of course, they've been working on it for so long. Makes me wonder. I'm sure you've all seen the video. They said have Will Smith eating fries, and it's got his face all oblonged and stuff like that. It looked terrible. And like a year later, you almost can't tell the difference. Yeah, it makes me wonder what's coming down the pipe. Unreal 6, you're probably not going to be able to tell. Lord knows when that gets a hold of the hub, how many people that's going to put out of work. Actually, that would be a good thing. All right, looking down the side here, I can see that most of our folks are here. Demon, Erica, Bite Me, Brian, Guard's here, and all that. Yeah, Guard says he's getting hammered by storms right now, too. Yeah, I don't see it really coming in yet. You'll actually see out the window get really, really dark all of a sudden when that stuff rolls in. We got maybe 20 minutes, and that sucker's going to be right on top of us. Let's see. Fabian, hey, how you doing? Ava's saying, knock, knock, who's there? Let's see. Eric says, got a Temu commercial. Why do I get commercials for you? That's just YouTube does that. YouTube takes 30% off the top. It's what YouTube does. And unfortunately, it's still the biggest platform there. So it is what it is. And I need to work on a commercial or something to start with. Something's a few minutes so you guys can bypass that. And then it can jump in. Bite Me is saying, loves the creative alien names. Had me laughing my head off. I wonder which story for that, because the thing is, it's gonna sound funny no matter what. I did one where I tried to pronounce it and it sounded like I shit myself, because I'm just kind of making noises like this. That's how it sounds. But yeah, I'm glad you like the names. The hard part's actually because I got to write them down actually in print in big letters, just like right here. That one's all in print, just so I can actually remember how to pronounce it the same way 2-3 times. It is what it is. Brian's saying how he's smoking beef jerky. Cool. That sounds really good. I mean, seriously good. I just had dinner, so you're not actually making my stomach rumble, but yeah, that's a good thing to know because guess what? Next summer, the whole economic system is going to go to shit. So at least if you believe the same guy who predicted where Trump was going to get shot, where, when, how, and all that other stuff, he was amazingly close. And he predicted it months in advance. See, everybody saying hi. Bite me saying, if you want to check out vibrations for health, Google Rife machine. Be careful of the ones on Google because I've come across a few guys that do this where they'll get on their phones and they'll set it on like white noise or whatever, or vibrations, and like somewhere around maybe the 3-hour mark, it just comes into these god awful screams like somebody's having their friggin' fingertips and their friggin' intestines removed without any type of anesthesia. And hold on, wait a minute. We got Sir is back with a $20 super sticker. No comment this time. I appreciate that very much, Sir. I'm going to tack this on here so you still get your shout out. Yes, you're still getting your shout out for last week, which hopefully should be coming up in the next couple of days. I got you and Demon are next from last week. Yes, Demon, I didn't forget you. I wonder what type of demon I'm going to be finding this time for you. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's never the same one twice. I don't know if you ever noticed that. So once again, sir, appreciate it. Appreciate everybody helping me out on this. And let's see, back to it here. Where the hell was I? Not a lot in the comments section here. Oh, back up. Oh, we got Ava. Duck. Oh, no, wait. I didn't set the beacon anywhere close. I'm safe. Okay. And she's get a $5 New Zealand super chat this time. She says, hi, Sin. I just sent you an email with some of the details of my shit. I hope you like. I will be looking into that. I've been just running around like a jackass, unfortunately. Had to harvest a lot in the garden lately. And that takes a surprisingly long time. Not to mention my tomato plants got so big, they ripped the freaking cages down. So I spent like 5 hours trying to put those damn things back up. But unfortunately, I got to go and get some more metal stakes. The wooden ones don't work. Not for squat. Anywho's, again, appreciate it. All you guys out there. Oh, shit. Demon jumped in. Demon, you crazy, demonic, wing flapping SOB. Let me get this down. With a $5 super sticker. And he's got the same type of dog my sister's got on there. Only my dog doesn't have a headband. Although it keeps yapping in my face, I might just kick it in the head, and then it's going to need a bandage like that. Damn thing won't shut up. Why are all those dogs so rotund? I mean, just seriously, I want to pick it up, find the laces, and say, go deep. Not that I'm going to kick the dog, not unless I have to, but geez. So, yeah, and a little samurai dog. Wah, wah, wah. I know that style, actually. It's basic jiu-jitsu. Anyway, ninjutsu. Anyways, thank you again, everybody who's going in. I very, very much appreciate it. You keep my lights on, and you actually keep the mail going out. All right, where the hell was I? Yeah, as far as the white noise stuff, please be careful with that. A lot of people are just freaking out on that. One of the things when it comes to the vibration, if you go into any type of YouTube and it says, hey, it's at something hertz, listen to it for maybe 30 seconds. If it constantly changes pitch, that is not the hertz. That's some asshole who put new age music on there. It's constantly vibrating at different frequencies. It's not going to do you a lick of good. If you listen to especially actual true binaural beats when you got a headset in, it is one solid tone. It doesn't change. It just stays there. That is very important. Anything else, fuck them. Fuck them in the ass with a telephone pole wrapped in barbed wire. No lube. I want it to actually hurt. I mean, gee, I hate when people mislabel shit, especially when it comes to health stuff. It drives me freaking crazy. See, Warsnammer says, the lesser you say, the more your words have impact. Are you telling me to shut up? I'm kidding. Okay. Ava's saying collateral damage is commonplace. Yeah, a lot of times it is. You are correct on that. War Sniper asking for a cat lover. I'm not much of a cat lover, me personally. Oh, Deathbed saying he wants more of a cat girl and more cowbell. Whatever the hell that means. I've heard that so many times. I've never actually sat down and watched the skit for that. You know, call me old fashioned, but if I don't enjoy the show, I'm not going to sit there and hope one skit is funny. I think SNL has made me laugh once, and I was about 10 years old, and that's it. Let's see. Warsnam says, don't touch the red button. What, this button? That is a very, very old trope, old joke. You know, believe it or not, the folks who do anime actually got that from us. I forget exactly which one it was, which show. It was an old live action show, and it was like I don't know if TV was fully colorized yet, and they're like, don't touch that red button. The guy already put his hand down. It's like, that red button, and all of a sudden nukes start flying off and shit starts exploding. It's crazy. Okay. Bite Me says, I figured out the twist to hell with you. Nearly from the get. Oh, so you figured out from the get-go. Okay, good. The M. Night Shyamalan doing style. Oh, let me say it right. M. Night Shyamalan ding dong style. Try saying that 10 times fast and not having your tongue break. Speaking of which, let me lubricate my tongue. Fabian says, glad my idea for a title has given you a good idea for a story, which seems to be liked. Yeah, that's, again, I still keep everything, guys. It's still here. All the very first live stream is right here. And then I got all the rest on here. I also have a pile sitting next to me of all the stuff, which as soon as I get a file cabinet, it has to be filed away. That way I can actually, when I do I'm going to kind of spoiler alert on the plans for downstairs when I get the office built, which is going to take a while we got a lot of stuff going on. But in the background and I've already figured out how I want to lay it out, is going to be like 2 or 3 of those big ass whiteboards, and you guys are going to be able to read what I'm working on in the background because I'm not going to try and hide it. So if it's something like ambush predators or flying bricks or whatever, you're going to actually see, you know, you'll read like Larry and Greknar and all their kids and have it all down to how the family tree goes and all the fun stuff. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's see. Demon says, YouTube is always recommending the AI channels, but I just ignore them. Good. I'm like, oh, that story looks cool. Here's AI. Nope, I'm out. Make sure you downvote them. That's important. Now, normally, I wouldn't want to sit there and downvote somebody's channel, but seriously, have some pride in your work, even just a little bit. But these guys have found a way to basically milk the system. And believe it or not, one of those that's milking the system that's pissing everybody off is a site that starts with or ends with fans and starts with onlay. And turns out all the AI stuff is putting a lot of those folks out of business because the AI channels are getting all the traffic. And you know what? I'm not crying. I'm not crying at all. So anyways, yeah, I'm glad to hear the AI channels are taking a shit. But again, it's only a matter of time. Just like they tried to make a CGI movie back in the day. I think it was Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Honestly, when you break it down, it wasn't a horrible movie considering they just found the top and pole vaulted over it. pole vaulted. Hell, they shoved a rocket motor in their butts and hit orbit before they came back down on the other side of that line. I mean, just the voice actors, especially the skinny guy and the muscular chick, they did a really good job. The girl, the main character girl that had the love interest, they did the best with what they had. I just gotta say. Let's see. Guard is here. He says, "Oh yeah, Sin, do you want to hear more about the exterminator suit I was talking about a few streams ago? Keep in mind for delayed response, I'm a pause view time. I'm 4 minutes behind you. No worries. It takes me a while to get to these anyway. If you want to send an email, by all means, send it in. I will, like I said, when I get the office built, I'm going through every single little bit, because starting this winter, when everything's settled down, I am, what the fuck? Okay, sorry. I thought somebody was pulling in or something. Somebody is pulling in. I can hear him. Anyways, I'm going to be focusing primarily on the channel. Basically, it's going to be, I'm going to lock the door, and if somebody's not dying, leave me the hell alone. And then I can focus on everything with you guys. I'll be working on putting the background music in. I don't know what would be a really good background music, though. So I might have 3 or 4 either on rotation, or I'll have to pick them for the different type. I just got to be careful I don't grab one that's already copyrighted. Apparently this has happened. So maybe you guys know one in particular that would work. Anyways, but yeah, definitely, if you got it written down, email it. Ava says, "I'll be giving more details on my ship later, so you grasp it fully, but what I've sent is more of an overview." Well, see, that's the thing. I know somebody else, hint, hint, who has actually been sending me an entire AI fleet. And you know who's in charge of that, Ava? Hold on. I have it written down here, so I want to say exactly who is actually in charge of this fleet. She is an artificially intelligent virtual assistant. Who might that be? So yes, when I said that's going to be a big project to put all that together, I wasn't kidding. That is a very large project. So by all means, throw the stuff in. If it works together, it's all going to be together in one. I will attempt, yes, War Sniper, I will try to give you another AI, cat girl, fox girl, whatever the hell. Or maybe I'll just put a certain someone inside the gunner seat again and have her fire the main gun. Again, hint, hint. Anyways, Ava says, "Can you check your email? I want to see your initial reaction." Hold on. Let me get in this for a second. Hopefully I'm still on, because this doesn't, hold on. Shit. Oh, balls. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, there it is. Okay. Shit. For some reason, when I went to go check it, everything went dark on my end. Am I still? Let me know if I got volume. Can you guys hear me? I just need to know. But yeah, it quit on me, and I have no idea why. I just had to, excuse me, I just had to jump in. Okay, thank you, Ava. You guys can hear me. I won't be able to check my emails until after the stream. It is what it is, unfortunately. Let's see. Let me go back here. I don't know where the hell I was. Let me jump around. Jump around. Jump. Okay, so let's see. Artillery is fun to ride, especially the shells. Yeah, I've seen that whole thing. Ava says, sorry, had a dirty joke. You know what? I'm going to write on here that says, tell said dirty joke. Tell dirty joke from email. And email from Ava. Okay, if you guys do send me a specific email, let me know so I can, put your name in the subject matter so I know it's you. Yep, as storm's coming in, it got really dark outside. Demon says, with the number of us sending him ships and fleets, I wonder how they would interact with each other. Are you sure you want to know what's going on in here? I'm not sure. Hold on me. What the? Dang it. All right. Sorry. I'm just having some technical issues on this side. Sorry. This whole thing just went to shit on me, but we're still up. We're still running. I'm actually looking at myself delayed. That's creepy as hell. Eric is saying, I know, just make it. Don't worry. I will. Like I said, it's going to be a large project. You're looking at the way, from what you guys are sending me, the best I can calculate, it's anywhere from 10 to 20 chapters. It's going to be fairly large. That means the first probably 1 or 2 chapters is going to be all set up. So it is what it is. Yeah, okay, Ava. I watched Terrence Pop and I saw that joke too. Strap on spelled backwards is no parts. Yeah. I actually send him stuff a lot of times. He reads it online, and I'll not with this handle, I'll tell you that much. Okay. Let's see. Ava's saying theme music relative to the story might be fitting. True, but the thing is, I don't want to give away too much during a story. You know, if I have a twist coming up, I got to be real careful on that. And again, I'm going to be learning. So don't be surprised that the music doesn't quite fit until later, or it fits in the beginning, it doesn't fit out. I have to learn this myself, guys. It's just the way it is. And can build it. Okay. Ava's saying, I'm not wearing ears and a tail. Oh, you're funny, Ava. You're funny. But nowadays, for you ladies, if you have that costume with a tail, it doesn't attach to the costume. There's been plenty of jokes online about that, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Say no more. Okay. Need a second monitor. I will be getting a second monitor when I move into the office. Okay. I just, there's literally no space in front of me right now, except for what's in front of me to actually put that. There's no place for another monitor, period. It's just the way it is. So I appreciate the idea, but it is what it is. Guard saying, oh, a very welcoming name in Eldering, the Impaler's Catacombs. The double entendres are strong with this one. And them ring. I'm gonna have to write that down. And them ring. I'm not sure what that's. And them ring. I'm gonna have to look that up because I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, Demon saying would go perfect with your maid outfit. Dude, she's seriously going to put a friggin' landing beacon on you and crush you. You know that, right? Deathbed saying, I like the stories without background music, but that's just my opinion. Hey, nothing says I'm going to use it the whole time. I've had people request it, and whatever you guys say you want, I'm going to try my damnedest to get to you. Again, I'm a one horse here, and that's what I got. So let's see. Eric is saying volume good. We can see you. Yep, that's from that whole thing. Okay. War Sniper saying, so Shinano, I'm fine with that. Also, I think Ava likes to reflect enemies their ammo back. They fire at the Titan Hunter carrier. Ooh. So somebody's actually mastered their gravimetrics, because if you're using actual shells, anything with a reverse polarity on the magnetics is going to literally shoot it back the opposite direction or force it to detonate. Hold on. Wait a sec. We got a $20 super sticker, and we got Chris Dixon out there saying how you guys are number one. And I'm going to write this down so you guys get your shout outs. And I thank you so much, Chris, for helping me out on that. I appreciate everything you guys send, even your suggestions. I even appreciate when you guys just like a video and give me a view or give me a comment that helps me make it better. You know, I mean, giving me a, hey, that was funny, hey, that was good, or something like that. It helps the channel. So again, I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate it a lot. So again, thank you, Chris. Very, very much appreciated. Let's see. Chris saying the setup can be hilarious. I'll work on that. Now, the thing is, and this has happened several times, where I've sat down to actually write something funny and it gets like heart-renderingly serious. I've went to do a very serious type of series, and it turned out to be a goddamn comedy. And of course, that's when I was doing actual commission work. Sometimes I don't even know where it's going. I know where I want it to go in a general direction, but the cone of uncertainty, just like tracking a hurricane, can waver depending on how it goes. Not to mention, one of the messed up things is when I get partial way through and somebody gets a hold of me. It's like, hey, I need you over here, and I got to leave. I mean, it's just that's just the way it is, folks. If I had more folks, it would be, you know, write it down as fast as I could, and then, you know, let them do the voiceovers or whatever. Maybe they'd have a better voice than me. I don't know. Let's see. Ava says, any DJ here? We need send. Boom, 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 boom. You know, all that. I can't do the beatbox stuff. No, it just doesn't work. Erica Gem asking, am I going to make any of these into books? I would like to. I would like to make these into comics. I would love to make them into actual like manga series. I'd love to make them into movies. But the amount of time I would have to put in, I would have to cut all my time from this channel out for like a month at least, just to get one chapter down exactly right. Because now I've actually gone into writing books, and I've worked with people who've done it. Now, Penguin Publishing told me to go fuck myself, and then a whole bunch of others. Once you get from them and you start asking, why are you cutting me off? And they will just blacklist you everywhere. I'm like, thank you, you fucking assholes. Anyway, when I worked with somebody who actually did publish a book, and it was a kid's book, it was a series of books that were only about 20 pages long. For each one of these, not only did I have to review it, but like 3 or 4 people that had to review it, show what changes they made, how they improved it, how they didn't do anything, or all that fun shit, and then send that in to the publisher so they knew that I wasn't just signing my name where they get a couple of friends to sign off on something. It was just crazy. Now, the messed up part is all I did was add a couple of commas on that. Now, that was it. I'm like, freaking jerks. So, anyways, yes, I would very much like to make these into books if I could. If I was able to make them into a book series, they would be far more detailed. Just the transformation on Ambush Predators of Greknar from her feline form into her female form would probably be like 2 chapters long, because you'd have the buildup of her being nervous, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing if she's going to come out, you know, all this craziness. She doesn't know exactly if it's going to work, if her intestines are going to be inverted, if her heart's going to be coming out her butthole or anything like that. She doesn't really know, and she's scared. I wanted to put all that in, but again, if I went into that much detail in that one section, I would have had to put that much detail in all of it. It would have taken me 3 days just to get out one video, and they would have been probably an hour and a half long each. I know you guys are like, damn, that would have been cool. The problem is I was still working up the channel at that point. I don't even think I was monetized yet. So it is what I had to get a video out. I did what I could with what I had. And I spent probably 2 or 3 hours a day just going through a couple of pages. And then I go back through again. And then I take a break. I come back for another 2 or 3 hours. And I go back, I do even more, and I've been doing the same thing over again. It's a very long process. And the problem with the books, a lot of times, is you get the publishers who like, it'd be a good idea. And my response to that would be, yeah, for you to get the fuck out of my office. That would be a good idea. But yes, would I, especially something like Ambush Predators, Galactic War Games, I think would be great. Flying Bricks, I think would be just one of the best mangas you ever read. At least I would hope so. But again, I need time to do it. Let's see. Fabian says, I'm listening to the group Tangerine Dream when I'm reading sci-fi books. Tangerine Dream? Sounds like something you actually order at the bar. Guardian Sage saying, sorry, I'm late. You're not late. Don't worry. Mr. wants to be riding a dragon with his spell-spitting pulse, just shooting lightning at somebody like fucking Thor on crack. See. Demon says, I like all the videos, but I don't comment a lot because YouTube hates me. YouTube hates a lot of people. Hey, as long as you're, clicking the thumbs up, I appreciate that. And if anybody else would click the thumbs up on this one, I'd appreciate that too. So there we go. All right, Fabian. I always try to like and leave a comment when I watch or listen to something I like, and I appreciate that. I do see your name on there a lot. So yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate every single one of you. Oh shit. Hold on. This thing jumped. Ava saying Kia Aura, but what Spacehead. Okay. Why not? Guard saying, oh, for God's sakes, autocorrect can't spell the word Elden for the life of it. Gotta love autocorrect. You'd be surprised how many times I get mad at somebody and I end up sending a message to go puck themselves. It is what it is. War Sniper, it is more the portals open up front of the ship and every rocket, torpedo, even a laser or Mac round enters the portal. And then the portal opens up around the enemy fleet, and their rounds land on top of them. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, War Sniper, because honestly, that brings up something that I got in a huge back and forth on YouTube with somebody because their bias was showing. It was a question on could the Earth fleet from Babylon 5 face off against the Earth United fleet from Star Trek, the Trekkie Treks. Who would win? And before I go into that, I see another $10 super chat this time. Guardian says, why ride a dragon when you can be a dragon and ride a dragon? Oh, son of a bitch. You know how hard it's going to be to actually find that now that I know that's what you want? And actually put that in for your little thank you you're going to get this week. So that's going to be a hard one to find. Okay. Very, very difficult, but I'll do what I can. And again, thank you, Sage. And thank you everybody for helping out today. I very, 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 very much appreciate it. I don't know if I've said very enough. Okay. Let me jump up here so that I can bring up this point. Now, when you actually crunch the numbers between Trekkie Trek and Babylon 5, a lot of people say Trekkie Trek is going to be able to just warp in, bounce around, and blast everybody to pieces. If it was a one-on-one at distance and then facing off each other, you would be exactly correct. 100% you would be right. However, in a full-on war, you're talking about the Treks are moving at an FTL speed where you can pick them up on sensors days before they reach their target. Days. That's a lot of time for everybody to get in position, lock and load, and aim in that direction. And also have all their auxiliary weapons aimed out. So whenever they come in out of their post FTL friggin' cooldown, or, us guys, we call it the moment of clarity. Hint. You're just going to blaze into that. And they say, oh, their shields protected. Their shields protect against electrical based. Everything in Trek is energy-based weapon systems. So, and their shields degrade very, very quickly. And it showed, even if they could stop something that is solid, it knocks out 40, 50, 60% of the shield capacitor before it overloads and dies. Which means if they're not moving and can dodge every single shot in the first 30 seconds, they're fucked. Not to mention, a lot of those Trekkie Trek ships are just giant freaking targets. They don't pack enough firepower. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, they'll put up a decent fight, but they're also outnumbered 4,000 to 1 against a universe where these guys have done nothing but fight wars for the past God knows how many centuries. Okay, they're well versed in killing stuff. So, yeah. And one of the big things which you brought up is the fact that the Babylon 5 universe can say, oh, we found their fleet over Andromeda Minor friggin' anal whatever planet here. And suddenly they're going to open up their friggin' gates, and before the Trek even knows what's going on, they're going to pick up the signature of these things opening, which only takes about a second before it actually starts opening. They're going to start firing through before the Trek even realizes which way to point their guns, which means you got a shit ton of ordnance coming in. Can you dodge something moving at fucking light speed, something designed to literally cut your ship in half? If it hits straight on, it's going right through those fucking shields. Now, the guy I was going against, shocker, he liked Trek, and he was like, oh no, they'll never be able to face them off. Oh, look, we got the Babylon 5 ripoff ship that has cannons on the front. It's also a giant pancake. If you're above or below it, it's a freaking target. And you can't get close enough to freaking dodge all the weapons. Again, if you're facing, and then this idiot decided to say, well, they'll just call in the Romulinians and the Ferengi and the, all these other. And I was like, well, if you do that, then you got to let the other guys call in all their other friends who are a hell of a lot better at killing shit than they are. Seriously, call them Minbari, and believe me, their ships are going to take, if it was them versus the Trek fleet, it would be a slaughter. The Minbari would just cut them to ribbons. It's just, my brain hurts. It's just, when somebody has that much bias, it hurts me. Sorry for going on that rant, folks. It just, it really gets me. Okay. Demon saying his autocorrect is broken. Warsummer says laser weapons are taken in and fires right back at the enemy fleet with 10 times the power, but that is my doomsday weapon shields. Take it in, and then the laser or multiple lasers are fired back. So basically, it's a electronic version of the Iron Man armor when Thor zapped it. Power now at 400%. How about that? Zap. Let's see. Bite Me says, in one of my D&D style RPG games, I made a ship covered in point defense lasers that also function as a holographic cloak. That actually would kind of work because they're on the exterior of the ship. Going back to what we were talking about last week when it came to the Eldridge, all that stuff to make it invisible, again, would have been on the exterior of the ship. They would not have had it interior like that. It doesn't make sense because you're trying to make something invisible. You can't do that from the inside unless you're literally taking molecule by molecule apart from the ship, or trying to phase the whole thing into another vibrational set, or sorry, another total frequency of reality. Now, the kicker is you bring that into another frequency of reality. Well, guess what? You might be stuck there. And Lord knows what might be flying, crawling, slithering, or stinging your ass the moment you show up. You know, we joke and we call our world a hell world, but for other places, it might be worse for us. You know, it's relative. Everything's relative. But yes, bite me. That would actually work well. That would work really well, especially if you can keep immediately go from the cloak and then redirect the energy right into the guns. If you can do that within like 1 or 2 seconds, you are going to fuck somebody's face in, I'll tell you. See, Guard saying Syntex manga, I buy. Well, I hope so. Ava says, let's start up a publishing company. Call it the Black Pages. Why's it got to be black? I'm kidding. It's guys I used to serve with. One of the guys used to say that all the time, just as a joke. But the thing is, we were Gen Xers, and you used to be able to joke about stuff like that. Now everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's so derogatory." Oh wow, I want to complain about something, and that's what. Just shut up. We've turned into Al Bundy. That's actually something. Those of us who are Gen Xers, and you get one of these millennials, or what's the next one? Gen A, Z, B, I don't know. But when they're like, how come you guys are that way? Just show them an episode of Married with Children and go, here you go. This is the way we are. That's why we're so snarky. All right. Wars Never says, on my own Titans will line up above, under, right, and left. 8 Titans. Oh boy, that's probably 8 centuries worth of building right there, because I have 8 Titan docks on my ship. Okay, if your Titans are docking with the ship, what is the ship? The fucking moon? Wow, dude, that thing must be gigantic. Now, I only say that because I don't know the shape of the Titans themselves. If they're narrow at one point and they can all just kind of point in and just kind of lock onto that, that works fine. See, and fire their Doomsday at the Titan Destroyer to the enemy. With the Titan Destroyer to the enemy fleet. Yeah, there wouldn't be a fleet. Hell, you're basically waving by to a solar system at that point, because it's not going to be there. Ava says, sorry to be so scatterbrained. No worries on that. I'm 3 days nicotine free, so ADHD is going overdrive. I wonder if ADHD is actually a thing, but yeah, every time. Okay. As for somebody who's not only coached people through this, actually dated somebody who's gone through this, and kind of broke my own bad habits, I can let you know a couple things that you may or may not have heard. If you heard it before, just say, hey, it probably works. Just remember, the first week is hard. The second week is going to be a lot harder. Once you end the third week, you're going to feel so much better. It's the same way with working out. By the end of the third week, you can't argue with results. It's just that way. It's with every single habit, good or bad. It doesn't matter. Now, I will say this. The key thing is knowing what your trigger is. I know a lot of people, they only smoke when they drink. So they quit drinking. Or if they go out drinking, they actually tell their friends, don't let me actually smoke a cigarette. And in one case, there was a fight outside the bar because that's exactly what his buddy did. We go out to see what's going on. And there's Billy on the ground. And there's his friend, I don't even remember what his name is, actually holding him down. And I mean, just straight up wailing on him. And I'm just like, dude, what the hell? He lit up a cigarette. He told me I could kick his ass if he lit up a cigarette. I'm like, okay. We were there when he said it. So, yeah. But yeah, the key thing is knowing your trigger. If you know what the trigger is and you can stay away from it, great. You should be fine. And it's going to help out a lot. If if you accidentally bump into whatever it is that triggers you, vacate the situation, switch everything up, do something that occupies your mind and your body. This is very, very, very important. If you can do that, you should be able to break the signal that goes from the trigger to actually starting. Okay. There's an actual sequence to this. But as long as you know what the trigger is, you should be fine. And all I can say is good luck to you. Alan's here. He's saying howdy. Whoa, shit, this thing jumped. Ava's slapping the Guardian Sage here. You slapping his face or slapping him on the ass? Doesn't matter. Slap him hard enough, he'll remember. Guard says, I revoke your speaking privileges. Okay. Leaping lizards. Why not? Leaping lizards. Is that like saying lizard people? Oh, sorry. Lizard people. Nah, I can't even say it. I don't know how he does that. Like twang his tongue like that. I can't do it. At least I can't do it the way he does. Okay, I'm not touching that one, Ava. Not a chance. Let's see. Guardian says, just teasing. I'm a shifter, so I can take any form. Why not? And I can hear it pouring outside, so hopefully the whole stream doesn't go to shit. Chris Dixon says, by the way, I'm the only one who hasn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. I'm feeling it. Don't feel left out because I haven't seen it yet. By the way, do not spoil anything. I'll find you. I wanted to go see it and I missed it. And again, I've been so busy. I just haven't had the chance to go down, cut off a couple hours and just go do it. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Let's see. Ava says, Trek ships are flying targets. I mean, their main hull is literally a circular disc with a bullseye. That's a good point. That's a very good point. You know, if you're looking straight on, it's really streamlined. But seriously, it tilts even 20 degrees, and it's just this huge, huge target. So in a full-on firefight, they're screwed. I mean, seriously screwed. Let's see. Demon saying, I mean, I have my favorites and all, but even I can admit that my faves would lose. Yeah. And that's the thing. In certain situations, as much as I like Babylon 5, there's certain one, like if they went against Warhammer, they'd be screwed. I mean, Warhammer has cranked its numbers up so freaking high, it's crazy. Now, I was thinking about doing this, but unfortunately, there's other channels that have done it already, is to actually take different sci-fi fleets and compare them to each other. It's difficult to not have your own biases. Unfortunately, I did find one or two channels that, for the most part, were able to dump their bias and keep going. So it is what it is. For the most part, whenever it goes any type of science fiction fleet, Warhammer wins just because the power levels and everything is so freaking high, it doesn't make any sense. Apparently, the las guns have the same kinetic force as a 50 BMG. I'm like, explain to me how an energy weapon does that again, because something's lost. It makes about as much sense as in Star Wars, where they freaking use a thermal energy weapon underwater. Anyway, Demon says, Chris, it was an excellent move. I can highly recommend when you can. Okay. For a second, I thought you were going to get spoilers here, Demon. You had me nervous. Guardian says, I love Trek, but a lot of other universes have some incredible weapons that can make Trek weapons look like squirt guns. A perfect example is Andromeda. You know, I've never actually seen it. I think that's the one that had Hercules as the captain, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I kind of got away from a lot of the science fantasy myself, just because I couldn't turn off the suspension of disbelief or turn that up enough just to get through. Even though me personally, I like a good Godzilla movie, emphasis on good. Godzilla and Kong wasn't horrible. It was entertaining at least. But a lot of these, what gets me is when they don't use basic Newtonian physics for ship movement. Have all the inertial dampeners you want, but have the stupid thing move like it's in space. For you to vector the way it is, like there's an atmosphere, is just stupid. Okay, just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's the same idea as trying to fly in the same way through water. You need certain thrusters to do that right. If not, you just turn your stabilizer one way and you're going to spin around more quick, especially at that speed. Okay, Alan says hold on. I hit the wrong one. Sorry, Alan. Alan says, what if you could redistribute your weapons to mimic the wavelength of the energy scopes of the engines? Well, if that's the case, the engines would they should, in theory, just absorb the power and they'd overload and blow up, honestly. Well, let me phrase it. They'd either blow up or the safety systems would kick in and they'd shut down. That's what would happen if you had the same exact energy wavelength hitting the engines, because you already got a lot of juice flowing through that, a lot. But yeah, actually, that would be, I'm going to write that down because that sounds like a very interesting weapon system. Matching wavelength energy into engines. That's Alan, that's really smart. That I hadn't even thought about that. That was really good. That was really, really good. This is why we have the live stream, folks, so that you guys can bring in any type of suggestions and we can have a good conversation and we can go through, and maybe, just maybe, if I don't use it beforehand, that might work on some drone ships. Okay. Erica said Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z, and the babies are Gen Alpha. Okay. So we're just going through those. Okay. A lot of people believe that's why, we're not going to, or everything's going to go through a great reset because we already went through the alphabet. But then again, I think those people are full of shit. Okay. Chris saying, yep, he's planning on seeing the movie on his next day off. I personally might, I stress the might part because it doesn't look that way. I might be able to see it on Friday. Again, I stress the might part. Chances are I probably won't be able to see it until probably next Friday. Not this one, the next one. Just because the way things are set up. Bite Me says, it was my connection. I thought it was wrong once, but I was, no worries at all. Okay, getting down to the wire here. Okay, this thing jumped. Hold on, something's off with the system here. It jumped really far. Give me a sec to find where I was here. Wow, that really just, I don't know what's going on with my system tonight, folks. It just went all sorts of crazy. Okay, here we are. Demon says, I thought about making a ship larger than one from Independence Day 2. You mean the one bigger than the planet Earth? But then I was like, nah, as much as I want to, that's too big. But maybe I'll change my mind. We will see. Yes, we will. Yep, Brian's right there with congrats on nicotine free, and I sure hope you stay free. Again, just watch out for that trigger. Just for the love of God, watch out. Now, one thing on that, it depends on if you're going as far as resetting yourself, are you doing a soft reset or a hard reset? A hard reset on the life is you're changing all your bad habits, getting rid of all of them at once. A soft one is you're only doing one at a time. I recommend the soft because a lot of times if you do a full-on reset, and I've done this before, you screw up on one and you think you failed on all of them, and it's just a mind you mind fuck yourself, and it's not good. So yeah, sounds like you're only doing one at a time, which is really smart. Fabian says my trigger is getting bored easily. Well, hopefully we're not boring you today. War Sniper says Doomsday weapon is the same as the Doomsday of the Avatar on EVE Online. The Kaldari Titans are the closest to how my Titans look like the super carriers. I have the I'm gonna butcher this, or Nixies of Eve or Archons of Eve. I have not played EVE Online in probably 10 years. The thing is, how do I put this? I would get in multiplayer matches and I would turtle. I would just make a defensive line, and people were like, what are you doing? They would come in, they would attack, they would punch through the line, and then all my other defenses would swarm in and make everything just suck. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? Now, granted, I'd usually take some big losses and their base is left untouched. So they think, oh, I screwed everything up, or they screw everything up for me. No, I'm actually saving all that friggin' scrapola that they got left over, and I'm harvesting everything. And what they don't know is in the background, I'm building battleships, and I always send them out in groups of 3. And it was kind of interesting when we had a very, 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 very long match, which lasted like 3 days, by the way. No, day and a half. I know because he got pissed off and he called me out. He's like, I've spent freaking 30 hours doing this, and what the fuck? I actually hit him from 4 directions at the same time with groups of 3 on each. One had a battleship, 3 battleships in each group. Unfortunately, no fighter support because I just had to pump out the battleships. And even though he was dug in like a tick, I carved him out. And he was just mad. And I just charged right to his base, and then everybody got in, and then the lasers are shooting every direction. It was madness. Madness, I tell you. Ava says, I haven't seen it either. Apparently, that movie's doing really well. Sir says, have to say goodbye. Bye. Have a good one. Thank you again, sir, for stopping by. I appreciate the super chats. I really do. You guys, have a good one there. Let's see. Chris says, Captain Kirk said Trek ships are for lovemaking, not live taking. Well, considering the guy kept getting allergic to his own pants, that's not surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if he did actually bang a Gorn, the way he was. Fabian says, pre-Horus heresy for the Warhammer 40K being more powerful. Okay. Again, I'm not a huge Warhammer guy. I'm just, I hate to say it, but I just don't have enough time to dedicate to it, and I've never actually played the tabletop. Okay, War Sniper says, I do have 7 World War II ships in my space fleet. Really? IGN Yamato, IGN Musashi, IGN Shinano Shikuka, Graf Zeppelin Bismarck, and Grost Kurfürst. My tongue just died about halfway through that. But yeah, a couple of, let's see, German. Okay. Fighting for the other side. I see. Why? Well, other side than my guys did. Okay. Ava said, the problem with comparing sci-fi here, a good example is Tyranids are hell, but the flood from Halo beat them, and yet the Tyranids could beat any faction aside from the flood, Forerunner, or precursors. Those three. Yeah. You are correct. The thing is, the flood itself, it's not a creature. The flood is a weapon. Even one tiny little spore, which isn't much bigger than a human's, actually it's thinner than a human hair, and only, not even a quarter of a centimeter long. If you inhale that, you're already infected. You're dead. You're walking dead at that point. And all you have to do is start spewing those things out, coughing them out, and you've infected an entire planet. Where the Tyranid have to actually grow each of theirs into whatever size they're doing. They're not a born weapon. It's just not the way they are. Yeah, and they're the three beasts of Seinfeld or sci-fi. Yeah, it's you're looking at the difference. You're comparing apples and oranges, as everybody used to say. It's they are different. I mean, they look the same. You think they act the same. They are definitely not. A better comparison to the Tyranids would be the arachnid threat from Starship Troopers, or the bugs you face over in Starship Troopers 2.0. There, Helldivers. You know, that's a closer example of those. Fabian says, I have to go to bed, up for work in 5 hours. Well, good night, Fabian. Ava says, no 40K faction can beat Forerunners or Flood or precursors from Halo, yet 40K beats everything else from Halo. Well, the reason 40K beats everything else from Halo is because everything else was designed to be weaker. The only thing that was designed to be lined up anything close to Forerunner was the Infinity and the Eternity. Only those ships are the only ones that even come close. Those things are true battleships. The fact that they can store their own fleets inside or support craft inside is moot. The fact of the matter is they were meant for long-range slug matches. And they're designed specifically to take hits. I mean, hell, they actually come with shields. They're the only ones in the entire UNSC fleet that has shields. Everything else is designed on armor. It's like comparing the brutes compared to the elites. The brutes, you shoot the friggin' helmet off their head. If they don't retrieve it, then their head is just out in the open. With an elite, you shoot it in the head and their shield goes down. All he's got to do is hide for about 20 seconds, wait for his shield to come back up, and then he's back in the fight. I mean, it's a big difference. Sorry, this thing's jumping. Wow, this thing jumped a lot. Let me find you here. Let's see. Guard saying, in my opinion, the one thing that can defeat a Trek and a Babylon ship is a Warhammer 40K battleship. If I remember correctly, there's likely only a dozen of them. Yeah, that's the thing about 40K that kept driving me absolutely freaking nuts, is the fact they kept saying, oh, there's such limited numbers, especially with the armor for the Space Marines, yet they're tossing them away like used tampons. I mean, how many times do you say, oh, they only have like 2,000 or 3,000 of these total in the entire known universe? And yet you watch one cinematic where like another 100, 150 of them are completely and totally destroyed, either cut in half or blown up or liquefied. I mean, it's crazy. And then they're like, oh, well, suddenly they learn how to build new ones. Give me a break. Guard saying, but the largest one is the size of Japan. Yikes. And even the 40K standards, that's pretty damn big. I would think so. And, yep. Night, Ava. Everyone's saying good night there. Demon saying, there are ships that I feel could beat the 40K ships. Problem is not enough to make a difference because 40K has so many. I feel like 40K can be beaten, but it would take a lot of strategy and hit and run. Well, the thing is that works. The reason that works is because 40K, from what I understand, is not designed for anything but conventional warfare. You can always beat a conventional force with guerrilla tactics. It's been done a lot, and Vietnam is a shining example. When I was in Iraq, it looked on the outside like we were using conventional tactics. We were not. We were not. We would sit there, we'd wait and ambush sometime for a couple days, just waiting. A lot of times, nothing ever happened. Okay. Guard says, I mean, I feel like the only faction Warhammer that could have a blast taking on the Flood, or maybe a few, would probably be the Nurgle Khorne and the Salamanders. Aren't those are Space Marines? Yep. Yeah, they're fully encased in their suits. If they can't be penetrated by whatever tendril, friggin' spiky things that the Flood got, then they're just going to go through and just destroy everything. And especially if they're using torches. I mean, everybody loves some plasma throwers. Rage saying Star Trek is always doing some reverse polarity wavelength thing. Yeah. I hate when they say that. Because if they reverse the polarity on whatever wavelength, a lot of their stuff would short out. I don't care how advanced their technology is. Because the reason being is you're causing a feedback loop. I mean, think of it this way. You took a fully charged battery and you tried to send the charge out and in at the same time, you're causing a cycle of electricity so fast, it would literally cook the damn thing. Well, maybe not the battery, but it'll cook the connectors. It'll definitely fry the wire. Let's see. Demon says, unless you go with other overpowered, you guys are like jumping on each other. Guard says, I would have loved for the Flood to be a playable faction in Halo Wars. The first Halo Wars was good. The second one, the reason I couldn't fall into Halo Wars 2 was very simple. The absolute political fuckery that happened. And I'll give you a perfect example. When you play Halo Wars, what's the biggest scene? What's the longest scene that everybody likes? It's when you got the sergeant facing off against the elite, and you got the two Spartans showing exactly what Spartans can do. They're flipping, they're firing, they're blasting through. One guy runs out of rounds, and he freaking smacks one of the elites in the forehead. It was just great. What's the biggest thing they show in Halo 2? You get a quick snap burst of a little bit of fighting from, I believe it was Jerome, the Spartan. And then you have another like 5 minutes of some, you know what? I'm going to get a strike on here if I say exactly what she was, but let's just say some sort of hire of diversity type who's an AI with whose feelings are messed up, having to come to terms. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? This is supposed to be Halo. I don't care about this chick's feelings. She's a freaking AI. She's not supposed to have feelings. I don't care if she's supposed to be a smart AI. In actuality, she's not supposed to be a smart AI. If you read the freaking lore, she's not supposed to be a smart AI. She's just supposed to be there. But I'm just sitting there like, no. Not only that, if you look at the way they designed the Doctor in the first one and the Doctor in the second one, they're not even the same fucking race. What the fuck? If you're going to stick with something, stick with it. You lose consistency, you lose me. And if I ever lose consistency in a story, please, for the love of all that is holy, let me freaking know so I can fix it. And if I can't fix it, I will put out an apology. Okay. Play as the Flood in the DLC campaign, or like especially even in multiplayer. The problem in multiplayer is the fact that a lot of people get sick of it because you don't move like a regular person does. At least most of them don't. Ava says YouTube uses military-grade programmers and it worked out, but made by the lowest bidder, and it works, but it's full of issues. Yeah, just like the T-10 parachutes. They work, but you're going to hit the ground real hard, 22 miles an hour. I know because I've done that. And then the thing's going to fill up with air and you're just going to be dragged on the ground, screaming in pain. This hurts, fucker. This hurts, fucker. Get this off of me. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Okay. SS Team said, I know, right? I mean, you can be with mods on PC, but I wish it was in the game naturally. Yeah, okay. Guard saying, if I remember correctly, there was an actual DLC campaign in Halo Wars 2 where you could do that, but I haven't played Halo Wars since 2011. Yeah. I got it downstairs, but they say, I have to hook up my Xbox to Xbox Live and pay for a new account or else I can't play anything. I'm like, I bought the game. Why can't I play it? What the fuck, over? A was saying Avatar is a joke. EVE Online. Yellow death lasers coming from a ship that looks like horse. Okay, you're playing a sci-fi game and all you see is horse dick coming up. I don't know where to go with that. I really. I don't know if that was supposed to be horse doo-doo or actual horse, floppy. Anyway, I'll take your word for it. Like I said, I haven't played EVE Online in a long time. Okay, Guard says, the one thing I find hilarious about the Avatar movies is that they try to make us root for the blue, you mean the tall blue Smurfy cats? Yet they make humanity look so badass, so you want to root for humanity. I wanted to like Avatar. I really, 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 really did. And it hurts me to know that this is the way they look at everybody. I mean, but the thing is, it's all political, guys. And when you mix politics into your entertainment, it's not entertainment anymore. It's political bullshit. And a lot of it didn't make sense. I mean, well, I'm sure we've all seen the second one, so I'm just going to use that one. When the sky people, i.e., humans, come back down, they come down in the most inefficient way possible. First off, that looks like a solid propellant type thruster, for one. You already know they have some sort of gravimetrics that they can actually ride on the solar winds. How in the ever-loving shit would they get that much technology without being able to burn fuel, which costs money, when they can finally get an engine that's just going to lower them all the way down? And then they have them come down, scorch God knows how many hectares, just literally burn it to the ground in a matter of seconds as we see animals running for cover, and then lowers this tiny, tiny little box to the ground. And we're supposed to believe this tiny, tiny little box has a division's worth of men and equipment. Bullshit. Okay? It just doesn't fly. Not to mention the whole thing about hunting whales just for their brain juice. Do you have any idea how much food is in there? Just one of those things? You could feed the entire human population on that planet for probably 2 months off one of those friggin' whales. Just one. And it's so inefficient on the way they sucked everything out, too. You telling me you couldn't go down from the top? Give me a break. And then you only get this one little bitty tube of the brain juice. I'm like, what? I mean, they did make a lot of the equipment look badass, but they also made it stupid. I'm like, I know they were designed to or set up in the movie to fail because they're the bad guys, but you're right. It's just, it hurts me. Okay, sorry, this thing jumped again. Let's see. Ava says, Avatar is insisting take from my girlfriend is that planet controls the creatures that are native to Pandora, but humans could not. Could be the liberating force from them. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the whole idea is you take that away. It's almost like stopping somebody who lives in a world of magic and says, here's some technology so you don't have to use magic anymore. Why in the fuck would they give it up? I think that's the point you were making. I might be reading that wrong. Guard says, who knows? All I saw was aliens getting their asses kicked by humanity for 3/4 of the movie. Then suddenly, I don't know, the white guy shows up and suddenly they're badass, hint. Whatever. The thing is, there was a couple parts of that movie that actually did make sense when a lot of people were trying to, throw shade on it when at all possible. Just like, oh, the arrows couldn't go through, and now this final attack, they're suddenly busting through the canopy. Because during the initial attack, when it went for the tree, they're shooting up, and they got to fight the wind going up. And these are rotor wing aircraft. There's a lot of downdraft, so they're going to lose a lot of their power. I don't care if they're freaking spears. When they're flying down, they're actually being pulled by the downdraft. Plus, they're going through the glass. Plus, they're being assisted by gravity. Plus, they come to a point, so they are going to penetrate. Yes, that makes sense. Would they all be that accurate? Kiss my ass. No. See, Chris says, thinking about the shield idea from earlier, how would a reactive portal that has to return to sender feature work, like a point-to-point transmission? Okay, shield idea of how to reactive portal. For something like that, you would use a fold system where you fold space around you and you, excuse me, don't actually move. Space folds like a piece of paper. Let me illustrate here. If you're at the top of this page and you fold the system to here, and then when you unfold, you're over on the other side. You might move like a quarter of a fraction of a degree, but that's all you have to. This is where quantum comes in because folding space has been known for a long time. I have no idea when they figured it out, but I know they can do it. And that would actually get us off this prison planet that's surrounded by the Van Allen radiation belt. Let's see. Demon says, one thing about the flood that most people miss is they can actually keep the living they infect alive. So you feel everything and have no control. Yep, somebody read the book. Most people just assume they kill everything, but they technically don't. They do also use the dead to... Oh, they also use the dead to... Actually, they fixed that in the game, which I thought was nice. Where if you don't actually blow them up or burn them, and you just shoot them and they're on the ground, another one of the bulbous forms can actually jump in and then reanimate that son of a bitch. Which is why I always make it a point. If I'm stuck in that area, that thing's getting blown up by grenades. They chase all organic material. Yes, because that is food. Alan says, I thought try titanium disco balls around the cruiser and disco balls around a cruiser and higher dropped close to weapons. Higher drop close to weapon by drones or fighters to confuse sensors or as beams. Okay, I think I'm reading this wrong. You got me a little turned around, or maybe it's misspelled. I'm not sure. Ava says, if you don't know the science, don't talk about it. Simple. Yeah, pretty much. I've even admitted on live streams, if I'm not well versed in one, I'm like, dude, I'm off. Like if warp drive can actually be a thing, then I'm at a complete and total loss on that. I've given up on that for a long time. Let's see. Demon says, I remember a video that was the Flood versus Necromorphs from Dead Space. Oy. And they were arguing over who would be in control of the dead. And it's a good question. But the Flood would not require dead, the Necromorphs do. Yeah, it's a good point. It falls under the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Ava said, please go get ID10T form for your parachute. Yeah. If you guys don't get what that is, just write ID and then right next, no spaces, then 10 and then T. And it's not ID T10, it's ID 10T. Anyways, I've actually had people run into the supply room and get their BA11s issued. And they all ran in there. I could not stop laughing for an hour. And my platoon sergeant actually walked up and goes, that was funny, but don't you ever do that again. But that was freaking hilarious. It's like, thank you. It's like one of the only times I ever played one of those jokes. But the guys had me pissed off. Anyways, Guard says, to cover the whole armor thing with the space brains, in one of the books, they found the STC pretty much free blueprints that contained over a dozen different space brain. Yep. Yeah, it was kind of a patch they threw in there just to keep it going. And I was just like, really? Demon getting Ava a heads up. Guard says, Marine, I'm about to be one more autocorrect away from snapping my phone. Oh, shit. You know it's not a Nokia. You can bend that thing forever. It won't break. Let's see. Guard says, and the salamanders, yes, are encased in armor, but are also one of the few factions that has a flamethrower as a sidearm. Okay, there you go. Remember what I said about plasma, which it's not official. It's not actually flame. It is plasma. Kind of helps when your planet is an active volcano. Okay, so they live on the same planet that Darth Vader got burned on. Got it. I'm kidding, Guard. I'm kidding. Don't break your phone on that one. MNC Guard. Oh right, I forgot about the Necrons, walking space skeletons with weapons that break you down to the very atoms you're making. Oh shit. Oh, okay. If I'm getting atomized, shoot me first. Guard says the whole talk about Halo 2, it's pretty understandable. I pretty much did the main campaign on both DLCs, with only good ones being Unleashed, the Nightmare DLC. The Nightmare DLC actually, fun facts in, you can get the remastered Halo Wars 1 on Xbox One and I think PC. And if you've ever done an old Xbox account, it should link everything to it. I just don't even remember what the password is. I don't even know if I changed the name for it. I got the account right before I got deployed. And when I got my system, I literally handed it over to my guys and said, look, we're bored. If you're not in the gym, here's going to keep you from killing each other and keep you guys from playing cards. Because if I caught him playing cards, I was going to kick him in the groin. It's just, ugh. You know, like the old, I don't know if you guys remember that Unhappily Ever After, you know, Mr. Floppy, the bunny. I said, kick him in the groin. That's an old show. It's kind of a ripoff of Married with Children, but it was still funny. See, Ava says, too bad the Grey Knights destroyed the Castigator Titan or its stick. Okay. Chris Dixon says, a reverse fold shield sending back all incoming ordnance would be the best ship defense then, but probably a huge power. Oh, hell yeah, it'd be a power drain. To a point, actually. That depends on how big of the opening you're trying to make. It's all relative, really. Because once you have certain components, just like they're finding out with certain technologies I'm officially not allowed to talk about, come to find out, it's almost like when on Family Guy, when he had the return pad for the time travel device, originally it was a stick of uranium because he needed that much juice. The next time he fixed it and only needed D cell batteries. I was like, okay. Let's see. Rage says BA-11s. Never heard of that one before. I've sent greenhorns looking for pipe stretchers and sky hooks. I've never heard of that. I've got to use that. If that doesn't work, you say BA-1100s, which is the balloons. We actually had one kid when I was in Korea. He showed up at my arms room. And there's two doors in the arms room, for those of you who don't know. There's the main door, which is like a safe. But when that's open, there's a secondary door, which is like a prison door, which is just to allow people to be able to talk to you while you're in there. And you can hand stuff out if you need to. It's real simple. Well, he comes up to me. He asked me, hey, Sergeant, Supply sent me over. I'm looking for grid squares. For those that do not know, a topographical map actually has black lines, your latitude and longitude. They are set up in a grid pattern, also known as grid squares. I got real close to the wire. I said, come here, come here. He got a little closer. I reached out. I grabbed him right here. I pulled him forward as close as I could. I said, listen to me, you dumbass. I said, picture this here, because I'm on the other side of that grate where this is a map. What do you call this square here? He's like, oh, I'm like, yeah. And I pushed him back. I said, here's what you're going to do. Go get an MRE box, an empty MRE box. I don't care where in the fuck you find it. Get an empty MRE box. I want you to tape it shut. I want you to black out on the side where it says MREs. And then I want all over it, I want you to write grid squares. And I don't want to see you again until final formation. And when you come back down, I want you to hand him that box of grid squares. He enjoyed having the day off, but I'll tell you what, Supply wanted to kill me. At least for a second, until he's like, dude, you son of a... He comes up yelling, that was funny, asshole. He freaking took off. Oh, shit. Okay, where was I? Let's see. Guard saying, yeah, a lot of stuff in the second Avatar movie didn't make sense, but goddamn, the cinematics were cool and they were very well made. Yes. I will say that. It was so good that I actually found myself constantly holding my breath because I almost drowned once as a kid. So whenever I go underwater, yes, I do still swim, that I will naturally hold my breath. It's a natural thing. So every time they're underwater, I got to remind myself, inhale, dumbass, you're not actually underwater. So they did an excellent job there. It reminds me of the Unreal 5. Okay. Demon says, now the more I think about it, I think the Brethren Moons from Dead Space could survive the Warhammer 40K. I'm sure some of the exterminacists, however you spell it, but with abilities that have I jumped here. I would not want to be a guardsman stationed near the market or a Brethren Moon and have to deal with necromorphs or insane space marines. Well, yeah. Sorry, you guys are jumping in so much. This thing's bouncing on. Give me a sec. Okay. Let's see. Ava says, I think Titanfall Vortex Shield as the basis of Return to Sender Energy Shield. Okay. Haven't played Titanfall. I kind of got a little pissed off just watching the whole thing, but then again, I was during my heavy workout days. That's all I gave a shit about. I didn't even play video games at that point. But what got me was they actually kept calling it a mech. It's an exosuit, if that. But regardless, let's see. Guard says, by the way, I feel like the Titans from Titanfall 2 would actually fit very well in some of Sin's sci-fi stories. As far as exosuits, not so much because those things are basically autonomous anyway. And the fact that they wouldn't move the way you want them to move just from actually being in a command couch like that. That they blatantly ripped off of BattleTech. And if you play BattleTech or even watch the cinematics, you notice they very few, if ever, they move like an actual person. A lot of them, if they're, assault rated mechs, which are the biggest ones, they move very slow. And even if they hit something, they have to stop. They have to rear back, cock up, and wham, hit hard. Even though they can, punch your dick up through your head. Let's see. Chris says the ID10 forums are always fun to send boots for. My LT always loved that one. Why not? Why not? They have the coitus consent form, so why not? Erica says, atomization has me thinking of Looney Tunes. Oh, I got my Acme disintegrating pistol. When it disintegrates, it disintegrates. Yeah, what do you know? It disintegrated. Demon says, I would not want to be a guardsman station. Oh, yeah, sir, I read that. Sorry. Guardian says, BA11, ID10C, bucket of grid squares, antenna clippers, blinker fluid, elbow grease, and what was the other one? Oh, yeah, go get the food for the Gamma Goat. That was another one. The thing is, when they tried that, I was like, I literally said, what's a Gamma Goat? It's, that's what you feed that bale of hay. I was like, I know every species of goat. There's no such thing as Gamma Goat. What the hell are you talking about? And I'm talking, me as a E2, talking to an E6, asking him what the hell he's talking about, did not go over well at all. That being said, once they realized I knew what he was talking about, I just heard, he got you, leave it alone. I'm like, I didn't even know what the hell was going. And eventually, I went down to another motor pool and saw what the fuck a Gamago is. It's basically one of those John Deere 6-wheel vehicles. Kale saying, "Hi, Sin. I'm back." Guard says, "I will admit Space Wings have a very strong mind, especially if they're a librarian, but I feel like eventually the Brother Moon would make one snap, especially if exposed for too long." Again, you're talking 40K. I'm a little lost. But he says, "Well, I guess I'll be taking on my tablet about to go stab my phone for this goddamn autocorrect." Oh, you guys are funny. Okay, Warsniper says, "What I would wonder, could the Brother Moon survive the flood, or better, a planet that is infected and turn it into a living thing?" Well, they don't actually, believe it or not, the flood don't actually turn it into a living thing. It ends up eating itself. Let's see. Chris says he would usually explain that the chain of command was the chain he'd beat you with until you understand what was in command. Okay. I have not heard that in a long time. You know what the chain of command is? It's the chain I'm going to beat your ass with until you understand what the chain of command actually is. Oh my God. It's been a long time since I heard that one. Wow. Let's see. Brian here. We would send people to find 10 feet of fallopian tube. No shit. That's funny. But the thing is, I just show up with 5 females and say, "Here you go." "Well, what's this?" 10 feet of fallopian tube. Here you go. I was always good. If I knew they were playing me, I would always turn it back on them. Always. And that was the way to get people to knock it the fuck off. And, like I had an E5 say, "Hey," he holding up an eye cup. He said, "Go ask your squad leader for a pricky 6. We need these." It's like, "So we're out of eye cups?" "No, we need a pricky 6. So I walk over to my squad leader. "Excuse me, squad leader. We're out of eye cups, and Sergeant Snow wants me to insult you." "What?" "He wants me to ask you for a pricky 6, and I'm not that stupid." He looks over my shoulder. There's the E5 right there. He's like, "You go." "Yes, Sergeant." And psh, I'm out. And it's like, "Snow, come over here." That dude was a douchebag anyway. Kale says, "I prefer mech with chicken leg. They always are more appealing to me." Well, the thing with the chicken leg mechs is they tend to be more stable when they fire because they can actually absorb the recoil a little better because they actually set forward. But they don't move as fast because, well, the knees are backwards. Let's see. Ava says, "Titans are controlled by a neural couch. The Titans stand 5 to 8 tall, originally designed for mining and heavy labor, but redesigned by the military work, and it's designed to use tools and weapons." Okay, that makes a bit more sense because then it actually is an exosuit. I don't know if you guys remember Exo Squad from back in the day, because they had the first Neuralink. They called it a cyberjack. And believe it or not, that was the actual term. It still is the term. It's being cyberjacked, being linked into a system. Although they kind of got in trouble because the command for the system to actually link up was cyberjack on, and for it to disconnect was cyberjack off. Use that for what you want. It was just the way it was. But yeah, Ava, that makes a whole lot more sense. The kicker is, I'm wondering if that's why the character never took his helmet off. Tech Command saying, "Snipe hunts are fun." Yeah. You know what I did during a snipe hunt? I said, "Let's go steal their beer." Boy, they did not want like that after that. "Where the hell's all the beer?" We show up with an empty cooler. "We got a snipe in here. We got a snipe in here." They open it up. "There's nothing in here." "There's nothing out there either." I didn't care. I didn't care that I got whacked across the head after that. Let's see. And let's see. Scaled up from humans. Rage wants to become a genuine sniper. Well, it's not hard to become a genuine sniper. You just need a little bit of practice. Let's see. Oh, okay. I was for saying I didn't know what Vader joke you were talking about. You're not. Okay. Chris is out of here. Stay safe, everybody. Choose. Okay. Kale, who needs fast when you can carry your own artillery battery? Yeah, that's actually if you've been watching any of the BattleTech, the Bull Shark uh, is a assault mech, and it's got an artillery on its back. Works great in the game. I'll tell you what, it one shots pretty much every light and every vehicle. Just about. There are a couple tanks that can take that hit, but I was actually playing well, it was a mod, and this was about 2 or 3 years ago when that BattleTech game first came out. I played one guy, and he said he could beat any group of mechs that I came up, any fire team of mechs, and he would match me battle either, I don't remember, it was a battle value or tonnage, but all he stuck with was LRM and SRM carriers. And needless to say, if you get struck by those, I don't care what size mech you're in, you're fucked in one round. And by the time your other three guys fire one or two shots, take one or two of them out, there's still so many, and you're just going to lose. It's just strength in numbers. So I decided to get the Bull Shark, and I think it's the first time you ever went up to one. We got on the other side, and in one round, I just literally did staggering fire across it. Not staggering fire. God damn, I can't even remember the actual name. Anyway, I went right across his lines, and I destroyed almost all of his vehicles. He was so mad. He actually rage quit. I've never known this guy to rage quit. He rage quit the game. Then he actually went and got a couple atlases, challenged me again, and literally walked in and says, "Here's your ass." And I was like, "Okay, don't worry, you're still good." Let's see. Ava says Titans can use anything thanks to their hands being able to pick up large scale weapons or tools. Yeah, the kicker is you damage the hands in any way, and you're pretty much screwed. Warsnipper says, I gotta go to sleep. It's 2:13 in the morning, and my lights are going off. So good night. Good night. We'll keep Kitsune in the back pocket for you. Let's see. Ava says Titans are basically an Atlas mech, just a lot smaller. I wouldn't even say that. The reason I wouldn't is because Titans are basically, if you break it down, the same as an Elemental from BattleTech. Now, granted, they have a few more tricks up their sleeve, but it's still basically the same thing, maybe a little bigger. Or a Mantis from Halo. If you shoot an Atlas from any of the weapons those things carry, it will look at you and go, is there a bug on my leg? And then it's just going to step on you. Not to mention, that thing gets anywhere close with an AC-20. An AC-20 is a 205 millimeter artillery gun that fires straight. The only problem is it relies on its explosive charge inside the shell instead of putting enough powder behind it. The problem is they can't put enough powder behind it, or else even a 100-ton mech is going to fall on its back every time it fires. So, yeah. But that thing hits and you're vapor. It gets anywhere close and you're missing parts. And not to mention all the energy weapons, the missiles that are guided munitions that are on there. It's not anywhere close to an Atlas. Now, if you're talking Titans from the Warhammer universe, okay, I'll give you that because those things are just massive. Let's see. Guard says, Sins Group, but sir, it's not only go fish. I don't give a shit. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, the sir is back. Welcome back. Walking barrage. Yeah, pretty much. War Sniper said, perfect. Keep that Kitsune comfy for me. Oh, I will keep her comfy. I'll fluff her tail for you after I brush it out, of course. I'm not wearing ears or a tail. Oh, shit. That's twice you've done that joke, Ava. It's still funny. It is still funny. Kale says, what I don't understand about Titan mechs is why they still need a pilot if they can function autonomously. I mean, yeah, it's for gameplay, but lore people, that actually is another thing that kind of threw me for a loop. Is it's AI. You know, it fights just as good with a pilot as it does without a pilot. So why does it even need a pilot? If anything, it's going to be slower with a pilot because that meat suit that's inside the mechanical suit can't take all the hits. You know, you get hit hard enough, believe me, it's going to feel like your one part of your intestines moved to the other, one lung went to the other side, and your pancreas just swapped with your heart. I mean, it's just crazy. War Sniper says, okay, that's it. You put on the maid outfit. Oh, shit. You guys are funny tonight. You guys are real funny. All right. Well, unless there's any more chats coming in, we're going to be finishing this up. We've been going for almost 2 hours. And it says, Ava's back. Snipes, I'll wear the maid outfit, but no ears or tail. I think it comes as one. Rage, yeah, the Titanfall mechs. Sorry, I got an icon in front of my way. They do work better on their own. Yeah, they would actually do better as the enemy than they would as an ally, as far as gameplay. At least I think so. Sage says, did you get a chance to check out the DeviantArt links I put in the comments on the one video? If it came up, I would. I'm going to have to double check it because I did try. There was a couple links sent to me, and for some reason, nothing took, and I don't know why. It was weird. Because I know DeviantArt's a thing. It's been a thing for 20 some odd years now. I know every once in a while when you get on there, they said, you have to sign up to be a member and pay us money to view this content. I'm like, what the hell is this? Something that ends in fans? What the? So anyways, Ava says, as for the reason for Titan having pilot is for creativity and short notice puzzle solving where AI struggles. Well, nothing says they have to be actually inside the suit to actually do that, but I could see the point. It's just me personally, it doesn't make sense to have something that can be totally autonomous, but still requires a pilot seat. I mean, except for like when they had the pilot seat in the movie Stealth, they actually asked, why a pilot seat? Well, that's just to test the airframe. Okay, that actually made sense. Kale says, still doesn't need a pilot. You could just be doing it remotely like nowadays drones. Yeah. Nowadays, that's actually very accurate. Very, very accurate. That's actually something now, bear with me, guys, because I got to explain this. The reason why certain games, certain sci-fi actually holds up is because it sticks to reality. And I'll use Battletech as the example on this. A lot of people would say, well, if the clans attack now, they wouldn't get very far because we'd be able to see them on radar. We'd be able to see them through the satellites and all this other stuff. Not really, because what's the first thing you do when you're invading a planet? You take out the satellite network. You just annihilate it completely, which means you wouldn't be able to track them on radar. You got to track them on sonar or something like that, which, again, you get line of sight. You can get lays on target, which is quite literally what it sounds like. You hit it with a laser, and they can pick that up farther away. Excuse me. Oh, that was fighting me. Which means, again, you see the target, you can hit the damn target. Okay. How would you want to take a planet? Well, you need a shit ton of firepower to land on said planet so that you can overwhelm them. Okay. There's where you need your assault mechs and stuff like that. But you also need scouts. You need all this other stuff. It works. And this is why I'm glad they got rid of land air mechs, which are basically transformers, which are from Macross, which I think was dumb anyway. So Let's see. Rage says the neural link implant to control some drones that are just glorified flying swords would be dope. You know, the effective range of that thing is literally 1.5 meters, which is what, 5 feet? You need to know exactly where your target is. I mean, granted, it cuts down on accidentally blowing everybody else up, but still, it's kind of crazy. I will say this. They do have the kamikaze drones. I'm kind of upset. I never got a chance to use one of those things. But seriously, if we got in a full-on firefight and we launched a bunch of those and they didn't, interact or cover each other's signals, whoever is on the other end is going to have a very, very short and bad day. It looks like Ava's out for the night, and it looks like our viewer count's starting to drop. Looks like everybody's getting out right now. Everyone's going to work and everything like that. Some people starting to go to sleep. And let's see. Rage says drone racing is a thing. Yes, it is. And the range is stupid. Yeah, it actually is. And Demon's out too. Looks like everybody's just about done for the night. So I'm going to end it for tonight with a safety brief. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. Everybody wants to drink and drive, kick his ass. If your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. Make sure you guys keep an eye on the road. The critters are out. They are out, and they're starting to bring their young ones. If you see a critter cross the road, slow the hell down, even if you know you're going to bypass it, because the little ones are coming out, and guess what? Those are the ones that go through your windshield, okay? I want you all to stay safe. I want you to stay healthy. We got a few folks actually quit. Well, at least one quitting smoking tonight. So good luck to everybody. Good night to all. And I will see you here next time on Syntext Live. This is your host, Syntext, ejecting.